Hello and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock Beginner's Guide. Today we're going to be going through some XP farms, specifically a skeleton spawner that we found in a previous episode. Here you can see what it looks like from the inside. So the skeletons spawn, get trapped in the water and get pushed down to a water elevator. When they go up the elevator they get moved down to a killing chamber where it's easier for us to kill them. On the previous cheat code video that we've done, I show you how to find different biomes, and obviously I haven't found jungle and I haven't found dark oak yet. So I'm going to quickly use those coordinates to go and find some different supplies. If you do enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. So here you can see we've got jungle wood and some bamboo, so we'll quickly collect some of those, and then we'll go and find some dark oak and we'll get on with the rest of the video. Here's our dark oak. Obviously it's one of those trees that has to be planted with 4 saplings. So when we're getting these we need to make sure we definitely harvest at least 4 saplings so we can grow some close to home. Bamboo has quite a lot of uses. One of those is obviously making them into blocks. So if you find your inventory filling up quite quickly, you can convert them into blocks. But bear in mind, once they're in blocks, you can't convert them back to bamboo. But anyway, let's get back to our base so we can actually start on our skeleton spawner. So let's go find our spawner. So this is our spawner. Obviously we've got some caves and tunnels and everything leading up to it that we need to block off. But what we need to do really is clear the area out around it. So we need exactly 4 blocks either side of the spawner in a square. So if I start clearing these away now. So I'm just going to fill this in because the last thing I want to do is fall in lava when I'm digging around here. But also a good tip, what you can do is you can light up as many of the caves around as possible. Because obviously with the spawning, the way it works is if you've got dark spaces around anywhere, mobs can spawn. So if you can limit as much as that has happened as possible, you can make some of these farms a lot more efficient. So I'm now going to dig out another 4 layers underneath the spawner as well. This is just so when they spawn they drop straight away. The objective is to try and get them away from the spawner as quickly as possible so the next lot can spawn in. This is our main spawn room and it turns out to be a 9x9 square. If you put water on one side you'll see that the 8 blocks that the water normally flows will push everything to one side, just leaving a gap. So what we can do, if we put water all the way along the back wall, it'll push everyone along down this way. So if we dig out a trench here, anything that's then pushed into this trench, we can move into one corner. So again, because water only moves 8 blocks, it won't push everyone right along. So what we need to do is we need to drop down a level. So about here, if we drop down a couple of blocks, the water will then keep pushing a bit further. As you can see, we're actually that low, we've hit bedrock, so we can't dig any further down. So hopefully the next block along here, we can put our soul sand here, and then we can use that as our bubble elevator. So now you'll see with the water at the end, it slowly pushes you towards where our bubble elevator is going to be. And obviously if we use some buttons and bits and pieces, we can control that as well. I didn't really need to do this, but I just then took down another layer as well. So it actually made it 5 below the spawner. As you can see here, this is where the bubble elevator is going to be. And I've gone and got myself some scaffolding, but I wish I actually had some more. But scaffolding makes it a lot easier when you're going up and down. But I'll also show you how you can do it without the scaffolding anyway. So if we start digging up, this is why scaffolding is so much easier, because you can just go up and carry on digging. What you can actually do is you can use scaffolding to make sure you're only going up a certain level. So if you need to go up 10 blocks, 20 blocks, if you know you've used 10 blocks of scaffolding, you're up 10 levels. The idea here is so we go up high enough so we can actually drop the skeletons 22 blocks. By doing this, what it does is it damages their health to a point where you can actually kill them with one swing of your sword. This means that you're not using too much durability on your weapons to actually kill them. So when you're trying to repair things, it's a lot quicker. We'll now go over this way by about 4 or 5 blocks, and then we'll drop them down into a kill chamber sort of area. As you can see, we've just opened up into another cave. So ideally, if we come back later and put some more torches here, that might increase the spawn rates. So this is now going to be where the drop is. So if we count down 22 blocks, and that'll be the block where they land. So we started on minus 35, so we need to dig down to minus 57. As you can see here, that minus 56 is the level that we were on. So we'll need to go down just one more. We'll have to put our kill chamber just below us. Ideally, the tunnel that we dug to go up on the bubble elevator, we could have made that longer. Just using these blocks, I can section this off and make it into an infinite water source, because we're going to need the water along here. We're also going to need some water in the bubble elevator. If we just put a bucket of water here, at least that'll save us if we go up to the top and we have to jump down. So we put the water on the soul sand, which will create the bubble elevator. And if we use some buttons, what we can do is if we put the buttons in front of that, that will stop the water from pushing out. So as the skeletons actually get pushed down via the water sources that we're going to put over here, that will push them into the water elevator. So we just need to make our way back up to the top of where the water elevator is going to be. So we're now at the top of our water elevator. We need to put a button on this back wall to stop the water from going down that tunnel. If we actually put the water at the top here, instead of at the top of the tunnel, if we put it here, it'll actually push the skeletons along. What we can do is we can come back later with some kelp at the bottom of this tunnel where the bubble elevator is going to start, and that'll turn all the water blocks into water source blocks, so the bubble elevator will work. This is why the scaffolding's easier sometimes rather than blocks, because it's easy to take the scaffolding down as well at the end when you're finished. So now if we remove the dirt block, that bubble elevator column should all be full of water. So if we go all the way up to the top, because we've put water on the other side, we can jump down. We won't die. Now we'll start building the kill chamber. We'll just clear some area around this. Obviously we've got to remember where that block is. So if we put a half slab there, that's going to be the last block that they land on. So that's all built. We'll just put some light down here as well. And as you can see by putting the slab there, we can still open that chest. That'll collect all the drops. Now we just need to tunnel our way back into the actual spawner so we can get it activated. So for the spawner to work, we obviously need to remove all the light sources, get the water flowing so it pushes the skeletons in the right direction. At this point, I realise I still haven't actually finished the bubble elevator. I need to go and get the kelp so I can make it all into water source blocks rather than flowing water. Quickly go and harvest some from my kelp farm. You can see this is still working really well. It just runs in the background. You can't see it very well, but I'm just going to quickly remove the soul sand block and then plant the kelp all the way up to the top. And then what I'll do is I'll go down to the bottom, break the kelp and put it back. And if it all works, you'll see that the kelp will actually end up in the chest. So as you can see, with the kelp in there, that means that it's pushed all the way up to the top of the water sources, over the top, and then down into the collection system. So that's working. So now if we take the lights out of here, this will start to work as well. As you can see, that works straight away, so we've already got some skeletons going into the system. If you listen quietly, you can hear them going up the water bubble elevator and then across. And our first victim. As you can see, that will actually produce quite a few skeletons, and that will repair your tools and armour if you've got mending enchantments on them. Once your tools and your armour are repaired, it'll then just start building up XP for you, which is great. So we'll have a quick look and just explain how this works. So obviously we've got the spawner now in the middle of that room. Whenever any skeletons spawn, they instantly drop into the water. They get pushed around and pushed into the water elevator, where at the top of the water elevator they get pushed along, and then they get a drop of 22 blocks, which brings them down to about 1 heart. That makes them easier to kill. So that's where I'm going to end the video today. As you can see, we've just now built our XP farm, which is great for if you want to repair tools, or if you want to build levels so you can enchant tools and armour. As you can see, we've got some basic enchantments on our armour now. So we've got full diamond enchanted armour. We've started getting some diamond tools. To be honest, this is probably good enough armour that we can actually take on the dragon. We're not going to do that for a while yet. Behind me, you'll see that we've already started marking out for the next project. We're going to be building an iron farm. As always, if you do enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a thumbs up. If you've got any comments or any questions, please leave them below. But from me, that's goodbye for now, and I'll see you on the next one.